Don't you ever just think minds and our brains are pure magic? Our senses? Wow, those wee superpowers are just incredible. Join me, Martin Dugan, for 5 interactive sessions to ask life's big questions and explore how our brain and senses work together to help us understand the world around us. Why don't you get involved in your class or with children at home? You'll only be taking part in one of the biggest children's surveys of the senses ever conducted. Get ready for jaw-dropping illusions, mind-boggling challenges and exciting investigations for this extraordinary journey into the human brain. This is Life's Big Questions. Register your email to sign up today to make sure you don't miss out. Hello you lot, and welcome to this, the first of 5 sessions on Life's Big Questions. Your minds and your brains are amazing. Your senses are remarkable. This short series is all about how incredible you are. Together, we'll explore how we all experience the world around us through our senses and connection with others, but also what makes us unique. We are all different, and no two people are the same, but we also have a lot in common because we're all human. And there are basic rights that everyone should have because they're human. Like the right to education, for example, or the right to rest and play, or the right to express your thoughts and opinions freely. Rights apply to all children everywhere, and knowing these rights are so important as we work out our place in the world and how we connect to one another. I'm Martin, and we are going to start today thinking about how you see the world, and probably our most familiar sense, sight. So let's get started. Today's big question is, can I believe everything I see? Meet your relatives. Here they are. Like you, these animals are all primates. Primates first appeared about 80 million years ago, and we all have a few things in common. An amazing visual system with great colour vision, 2 eyes, and a large brain that spends a lot of energy processing everything we see through our eyes. Your eyes are connected to the part of your brain called the visual cortex. Each eye sends some information to the left half of your brain and some to the right. If you have a fully working visual system, having 2 eyes helps you see how near or far things are and how fast they're moving. You can watch someone's eyes tracking distance quite easily. Ask the person next to you to hold their finger out in front of them, and then ask them to stare at it. Then ask them to bring it slowly towards their nose. Watch their eyes. Both try to point at the finger as it moves closer. This is called convergence. As this happens, the eye muscles are being stretched and sending messages to your brain, which adds more information about how close the finger is. Some of us can't see as much as other people, and some can't see anything. But even in this case, the visual cortex in the brain can still be working. Some blind people have visual dreams when they're asleep, just like sighted people. Although these dreams may have more sound, touch, taste, and smell. And there's some evidence that when blind people read Braille with their fingers, it's still the visual cortex, the part of the brain connected to your eyes that's being used to read the bumps. But if you can understand what you see, if you can tell the difference between a face and a car, then you know that your brain is taking information from your eyes and trying to make sense of it. So your eyes and your brain work together to see. What does the brain do with the information from the eyes? Well, one thing it does is compare new things you see to things your brain has seen before. Then it tells you what it thinks you're looking at. Sometimes it guesses to fill in the gaps. Now we can experience this happening when we look at certain types of illusions. Here's a classic visual illusion. It's a very simple shape, but your brain has to decide what it is. Can you see a face or a vase? A face or a vase? I asked our friend and neuroscientist on Life's Big Questions, Professor Anil Seth, to tell us what's happening in our brains when we look at the face-vase illusion.
Every pattern of light that comes into the eyes could come from different things, so the brain has to decide how to interpret it. This is very clear when we look at ambiguous figures, like the face-vase illusion. What you see could be a vase, or it could be two faces looking at each other. Sometimes your brain interprets it as a vase, and you experience it as a vase. At other times, your brain interprets it as two faces, and you experience it as two faces. What's fascinating is that your experience can flip back and forth between the two alternatives, even though the sensory information coming into your eyes doesn't change at all. And of course, what I see could be different from what you see. Although our brains are very similar, they can give us very different experiences. What this illusion really shows us is that what we see is very dependent on how the brain makes sense of the information it gets. The brain is always drawing on lots of information from different sources when it makes its best guesses about what's in the world around us.
Thanks, Anil. So we're learning about how we're similar in so many ways, yet different in others. How we see the world can be different because our brains and minds are different. You've probably noticed this already because everyone has a different personality. We're all human. It's very important to remember and respect all of our differences. What you're going to see today is a series of illusions or visual tricks that should help you understand what your brain is doing, how it is making guesses and not always getting them right. Have fun and look out for your chance to take part in our survey of the senses and find out what other children across the UK think as well. See you next time when we'll be answering another of life's big questions.